The Power Cosmic may have already been set up in the MCU, which can only mean one thing: Galactus. Or more importantly, one of his most famous heralds in the form of the Silver Surfer is coming to the MCU.
Okay, you win.
With him coming at the perfect time together with the likes of the Fantastic Four, the closest connection to Norrin Radd we have on our hands when the time comes. As the MCU expansion becomes more vivid, especially on a cosmic level, which seems to be the case with the MCU's Phase 4, we have become more interested as to when might one of the household characters associated with Marvel make an appearance. Of course, we're talking about Galactus, the devourer of worlds, and his herald, particularly the most famous one from Marvel Comics, Norrin Radd, aka the Silver Surfer, whose debut seems to be ever so close to happening now that we know that Marvel's first family is also coming to the MCU. The Fantastic Four with their own movie nonetheless. So before we move on with the teases and the rumors regarding the Silver Surfer, one of the characters that almost every Marvel fan knows by now, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Power Cosmic, one of the most powerful energies in any iteration of the Marvel Universe. Each of the Infinity Stones, as we've seen so far, can harness a different aspect of the cosmos to shape it when they're brought together. However, the Power Cosmic takes this power to a whole other level, which is why by many is regarded as one of the most omnipotent raw materials out there, with even a fraction of it capable of altering space and time. Mostly associated with Galactus and the Silver Surfer, the Power Cosmic can be harnessed from the cosmic energies that Galactus absorbs when consuming entire worlds across the universe. And even though we have yet to see Galactus or the Silver Surfer make their debut in the MCU, the Power Cosmic may have quietly made its way into the MCU. Introduced by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1966 Fantastic Four issue 48 and given additional information about it in 1986 Silver Surfer issue 2, the Power Cosmic was said to be able to change matter on a subatomic level, allowing the users of it to change and alter their size, transmute and teleport matter, change base elemental properties, but also resurrect entire world when the full might of it is directed accordingly. Being one of the more undefined energies in the Marvel Universe, much like what the Celestials presented themselves, with their scope of power also being one of the more undefined cosmic powers, we could have already been witnesses of the Power Cosmic being part of the MCU. That is, if the Celestials do indeed draw their abilities from this energy, with it making its debut as early as the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, as Ego, the living planet, claims to be a Celestial, who, as we saw, was able to change his form from a humanoid man to an entire planet.
And this is the thanks I get? You really need to grow up.
One of the many properties connected with the Power Cosmic, making this theory very much plausible. Now, there's also the case that Ego was in fact lying about his celestial status, shifting the debut of the Power Cosmic back to the Eternals movie, should the Celestials, as we've said before, actually been drawing from his power. The first time we saw the power scale of the Power Cosmic in a live action was in 2007's Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, when both Galactus and the Silver Surfer came to Earth.
Why are you trying to destroy us?
I am not the destroyer.
We saw one of the powers of the Power Cosmic, Dr. Doom, used it to become an omnipotent being and killed Sue Storm. Only for him to be defeated by the Silver Surfer, taking back the Power Cosmic and resurrecting her. While we at the Eternals, the writers of the Eternals movie, Ryan and Cass Furpo, did not hesitate to share their take on the whole topic, with them also sharing their thoughts on the possibility of the Devourer of World showing up in the MCU, which seems to be all the hype now that a Fantastic Four movie is indeed coming to the MCU, and Galactus being one of the most traditional villains connected to Marvel's first family, with their movie serving as some sort of a debut for Galactus and the Silver Surfer alike. Ryan and Kaz expressed how they admire how much amazing character and villain Galactus is, and how they've also had a say in the setting of the stage for intergalactic, cosmic, and megalith confrontations through the interpretation they have given to us with the Eternals movie. Thus, the Fantastic Four movie will probably come with one of the biggest MCU debuts, with it being the likeliest candidate for Galactus, but also the Silver Surfer, the one sent out to Earth to determine if Earth is a valuable planet to be devoured by Galactus himself. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has grown exponentially over the last couple of years, there's no doubt about it. However, we think that Marvel has only scratched the surface, with the upcoming Fantastic Four possibly becoming one of the main projects that will spread the wings of the MCU towards the cosmos even more. And even though it's unclear as to what the future will look like when the movie comes, the writer of Ant-Man, Adam McKay, has teased us with a potential Silver Surfer movie plot. Yes, you heard us right. In an interview, Adam McKay has given us his thoughts on a potential movie centered around the Silver Surfer, who called the entire surrounding of the character a tricky one, as he's probably one of the characters that live under his own umbrella, so to speak. With his connections only coming close to the Fantastic Four, with him adding that they, him together with other people, looked into a potential project for the character, but as he recalls, there was some reason why it didn't happen. According to Adam, the most obvious plot for the movie could come in the form of an environmental allegory, exploitation of limited natural resources, which could ultimately be the best take on an incredible movie centered on the iconic Marvel character. The passion he has for the character is evident, and his existence would bring a new dynamic to the MCU, there's no doubt about it. That being said, it will still likely be some time before anything specific comes up about the Silver Surfer. However, the upcoming Fantastic Four movie might give us a hint, or even a cameo appearance from the character, and then for Marvel to pick up from there. With everything said, should Marvel consider tackling another iteration of Norrin Radd, aka the Silver Surfer, there will be so many people with a whole lot of expectations, and Marvel will have to deliver and do it right, as he's one of the trickiest characters out there. Following all the hype about the character also raised some questions as to who might be the possible candidates for the role of the character. It will be a difficult choice nevertheless, as the MCU's version of the character will likely follow the CGI effects done on the latest iteration we got from the character in 2007's Fantastic Four movie, or something along those lines, which also means that whoever takes on the Silver Surfer role doesn't necessarily need to look like the character, but rather act like him, with other qualities of an actor being wanted more than the face physique. So the casting list that comes to mind includes the likes of Ricky Whittle, with the world already seeing him as a formidable entity with his role as Shadow Moon in American Gods. Then there's Keanu Reeves, who has been expected to join the MCU for several years and role so far. Vin Diesel is also another actor who firstly looks the part, and secondly his persona is what would go well with the likes of Norrin Radd. Liev Schreiber has been considered as the best voice for the character of the Silver Surfer rather than the looks, and finally Idris Elba. However, with him already being part of the MCU in the role of Heimdall, he's probably the least likely candidate for the role. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on the Silver Surfer as a character? Do you think the MCU will adapt his exact power level from the Marvel comics, or he'll be toned down to the scale of the MCU? And which actor would you like to see in the role if it was up to you? But also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more amazing videos such as this one. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.